So I figured it might be nice to have a game of my own versus a jury to show how at least I think you should approach the matchup, some general ideas, and also to talk a little bit about winning the positioning battle and also sort of winning the resource control battle, or sort of knowing what your opponent wants to do and trying to deny them that opportunity. So this is my Rose versus Jury. The Jury's all right, and my play's pretty bad too, but I couldn't find any of my better replays. I think they're sort of lost to the sands of time. So let's go ahead and start. Round start's an important part of this matchup because Jury wants charges. She needs charges to be effective on offense and to use her fireball, right? So one of the things I always try to do in any matchup against Jury is deny her the ability to safely dash backwards at round start. It's risky. This is a risky back heavy kick, but I wanted to at least throw it out there in game one, round one, just to see what her initial inclination is. In the ideal scenario, this Jury's going to backdash, and then this is going to whiff. This back heavy kick of mine's going to whiff, and I'll be able to at least establish one, mid-screen, and two, she can't really backdash and then safely charge a store because I'm right there. She also could have dashed forward, in which case the back heavy kick might have caught her dash. She also could have done some other button and punish me for this, and we might see that later on in the replay. Spoiler alert. But this is just sort of a feeling out thing. It's risky, but it's round start, and again, I don't want Juri to be able to backdash and get charges. So already, notice, I'm at this range after this medium kick, where I'm almost at standing heavy punch max range. That's pretty decently spaced, all things considered, especially because she's crouching. I could be a little farther out, I think. But this is the range I want to be at. I want to be at the range where when she's crouching, when Juri's crouching, my heavy punch is going to hit just at max range, either to cancel into fireball or even potentially challenge with a light spiral that's very well spaced, and see if the Juri's ready for that punish. I do a fireball, and the Juri kind of bizarrely jumps the first one. That's just kind of a read, I guess. Everybody knows Rose wants to stand heavy punch into fireball. Kind of risky, but also, hey, I did a back heavy kick to start the round. I was able to block that, but I was expecting the tick throw, and I should have just blocked. Should have just taken the throw in that situation, but like they say, should have taken the throw. I get knocked down, and I'm getting pressured, and already I'm kind of in a bad spot, right? Like, hey, I had established mid-screen, and then after a couple poor decisions on my part, I'm getting knocked into the corner. So I challenged that second blocked crouching light kick with a crouching medium punch because it's a fast button at 5 frames, and also Juri doesn't really get pressure after 2 blocked crouching light kicks. It puts me in a good range again to do a pretty decently spaced stand heavy punch into fireball, and then I follow that up with a spiral afterwards to see if I can catch her trying to counter press a button after the block fireball, or perhaps to dash forward or walk forward. But the Juri dashes backwards in this scenario and gets a charge. So, again, what is Juri trying to do? She's trying to establish screen space and screen presence so she can get charges. Immediately what I do when I realize that is dash forward, right? So look what happens. I kind of get back to neutral, we're on even footing. She backdashes. I immediately, after I see that charge, dash forward. I don't dash forward into a button, though. I just dash forward to establish space, because in my mind, I'm saying, well, she got a charge, she won that interaction. But I don't want to not only have lost that interaction, but also continue to lose the screen space for her. She goes for a sweep, which is kind of wild. I figured she would go for a standing button, like crouching, or like standing medium kick or something, so I figured maybe I would get the crush counter. Did not come to pass. She backs up and gets another charge, which is unfortunate, and then goes for this overhead, which I think maybe was supposed to be... Yeah, it looks like she was actually maybe trying to do a course circle forward medium kick into maybe fireball cancel, but failed. But I'll just let the rest of this round play out. It's mostly me realizing, hey, I've lost this battle to stop her from getting charges. I've lost the battle to establish my screen space. I need her off of me now. And so I'm going to throw buttons out to try and catch some of this stuff and start up and hope I can get a knockdown. But look what's happening to me. I'm being so buttonsy that I keep getting trades. I got knocked down. I got counter poked again, and now I'm in the corner. where she has charges, and I'm just trying anything I can. She kind of gets hit by a random slide, and I go for a couple of mix-ups here, a little stagger pressure. This was all right, but again, I didn't really get a whole lot out of that V-trigger other than resetting neutral and a couple, a throw and a little bit of damage. The problem I have now is Juri's got 2 stocks, almost full meter, and all of her V-trigger ready. So this round is kind of already over. All this Juri needs to do is activate V-trigger, which you'll see she goes for here. I have no idea what that V-skill is on block, so I tried to challenge and got punished for it. And she gets a pretty great burn into CA. So even though my game plan coming in was to deny Juri getting charges and to sort of be at my optimal range at all times, I was so aggressive in doing so that I got out-buttons by Juri, which makes sense. She has faster and kind of better buttons in a lot of those ranges. I need to be a little more conservative or reserved in how I use my buttons. So let's see how I react and how I sort of adapt in the second round. I don't do anything at round start, I just block, and Juri goes for a kind of crazy overhead, which I punish. I dash up here, and I recognize, hey, Juri backrolled. So instead of going for a throw or some sort of big button, I'm just going to walk forward and try to medium punch, maybe try to get a whiff punish. My button gets beat, unfortunately, but, it's not the end of the world. I'm still at an advantage here. I have a life lead, and I now have the screen advantage. So I'm going to walk up and do a little bit of medium pressure, and look what's happening. From the very beginning, without pressing any buttons or throwing any fireballs, I'm walking this Juri into the corner because she has no charges. She has 1 charge, but she really has none of her functional charges. She realizes, my initial offense isn't working, and this Rose is pushing me into the corner. So she walked herself into the corner without me really pressing almost any buttons, and now this is where Rose can go to work. Max range, whiff punish on that heavy kick, confirm into the fireball, confirm into the spiral. Now I have good Oki. I get the throw bait. Counter hit confirm. I go for another meaty. I'm +2 here. I was expecting some sort of, craziness into V-trigger activation, but she smartly blocked. But now I get to run my game. I push the Juri into the corner. I have meter. I can just do, well-spaced heavy punches, crouching medium kicks. I can go for crush counters like I did there. I missed an anti-air. I'm challenging a little bit more, but I'm making sure that when I do back heavy kick, it's at these ranges where the tip is just going to catch the extended hitbox on her kick store. Keep going for these fireball strings. Like, I'm not converting a ton of them or into any meaningful damage or knockdown, but look, I've got a huge life lead. I'm preventing her from activating, and for most of the round, she didn't have any charges. She activates. I wait. Notice, I wait for the fireball cancel out of this V-trigger, which drains a quarter of her V-bar. Now she's knocked down, lost V-meter, didn't have a good activation, didn't get any damage on me, and she's still in the corner. I missed my... I think I might have tried to do a heavy spiral out of that, but I probably didn't confirm it and was just going for the frame trap. Missed the anti-air again. But you can see now in here, even though I am actually plus in this scenario, I don't challenge because I was afraid from last time when I got clipped. But it's okay. I'll block out the rest of her V-trigger. I block out her stores. I use my plus frames to stop her, and then I use my back heavy kick when she retreats because I know she has to backdash and get the store. So I stop her from doing that. So those are 2 kind of night and day rounds, right? Instead of me being in the corner, getting all my buttons stuffed and getting knocked down and being, run train on basically, I was able to push her into the corner, apply pressure, apply my plus frames, get meaties, and nullify her entire V-trigger. Now, I go back to the back heavy kick because I'm feeling like, hey, she's going to be even more desperate to get charges this time, but smartly the Juri goes for a heavy kick here. For some reason, I thought I blocked that crouching I did not, so that's not an actual punish. Pretty light punish for that. I'm kind of lucky. Now, this time I did block it crouching, so I know I can get a punish here. And we're back at this range, right? I'm back in this range where I'm slightly more than mid-screen. I'm playing just at around standing heavy punch range. I finally go for a jump. That might have been my first jump of both rounds. Into some pressure. And immediately look where she's at. 1 bar spent, a jump in that she wasn't ready for because I didn't really present jump very often, and she's in the corner. And finally she bites after the plus frames, and I get the crush counter. So this is my Oki situation. I just go for the, pretty easy stand heavy punch meaty. I don't get to confirm, unfortunately. I probably should have been looking for the confirm into heavy spiral there instead of just autopiloting the fireball. I get the anti-air, but that really should have been either soul bind or crouching heavy punch. I kind of have a bad habit of doing jump back medium punch. The Juri wakes up into EX, which is kind of a smart idea, I guess, but she wasn't far enough, or I was far enough away where it didn't actually punish me. She does get the activation, but again, I wait because I know that if I can V-reversal her after the fireball, it drains her V-meter. She's in the corner. I go for the back heavy kick there. That one was to try and catch a dash. I do get the anti-air there. I go for the throw bait. More plus frames. And in this situation, I know, well, not only has she wasted all of her V-meter, but she has no charges. She has a lot of gray life and is probably really worried about a throw, because back throw might even kill in this scenario. It's kind of close. So we get the DP, and I whiff the cancel into heavy spiral. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with how I adapted in those rounds, right? The first round, I really was kind of feeling out, trying to be super active to see if I could prevent the Juri from running too much brain dead offense on me. And then when I realized that, all right, this Juri has pretty good button placement, pretty good confirms from lows, solid stuff coming out of V-trigger, I played it a little more close to the vest. I really tried to get into my optimal range for heavy punch, for anti-airing. I really tried to walk her into the corner, didn't even really have to press too many buttons to do so, and was able to kind of come out on top here. So hopefully that was a good example of how to approach the Juri matchup and learn a couple